You are listening to Veterans Action Report on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. I'm your host, Nick, coming to you live from St. Paul, Minnesota.
And I'm Andrew Canales, coming to you live from Evergreen, Colorado.
Every day, veterans are struggling with many issues spanning from homelessness to mental health crisis, often leading to 22 veterans a day taking their own lives. There are veterans all around the U.S. leading the fight to help guide our brothers and sisters to a better life. We will bring you stories from all around the country telling tales of veteran struggles and triumph. Every episode benefits veteran-run nonprofits Warriors Next Adventure, helping veterans fight PTSD through recreational therapy and new adventures. And Houses for Warriors, helping solve the homeless crisis, leading veterans to a better lifestyle. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you again to KGRA Digital Broadcasting for giving us this platform. As you guys know, this is a public service show, and KGRA gives us this slot for free. So I just want to again say thank you to those guys. Those guys are amazing, and they've helped project our voices quite a bit. I'm going to go right into not really the guest, but we got Andrew Canales here with us today. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Dude, I haven't talked to you in like a fucking month.
It's been a little bit.
It's been a while. How you been, man?
It's good. I'm enjoying my birthday, just relaxing.
Today's your birthday?
Today's the day.
Oh, dude, I saw your thing. I didn't know it was today. Happy birthday, dude.
Thanks, man.
Well, I got a present for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I just found out today that I do not have cancer, so.
Congrats, dude. It's amazing.
It's not really for you. That's for me. Sorry. Hey,
That's
well,
awesome,
I'm excited to have you on, man. So I just wanted to really go over, what have you been up to, man?
I've been busy. We've been doing a lot. We've been kind of, I'd say, sharpening the program. Just kind of, we just launched our mentorship program, got all of our mentors assigned to our veterans.
So what are you doing with the mentor program?
Just, taking what I've learned from Convergence and our 90-day personal development partners, bringing in graduates of their 90-day program, and then essentially just twice a week they'll have calls with their mentors, holding them accountable to what they say they're going to do. They're committing to making these coaching calls twice a week, and it's just overall like more accountability and just more engagement with our warriors that are going through the program. A lot of them will just take a lot of time and just isolate, and we don't want them to isolate too much.
Oh yeah, we all know that isolation is like, that's definitely an avenue to suicide, so we definitely try to keep veterans away from that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's just,
how's the house going?
It's good. We just had the mentor barbecue and introduced all of our veterans to their new mentors and got everybody connected. And it was pretty funny just watching everybody connect with their mentors. It was kind of perfect. Just
Nice.
All the personalities meshed. Taking it one day at a time. Like always, we're fundraising to get to the next level and start, expanding the program beyond men so that we can serve women and some families and, all the other different situations that people get into when.
Hey, so usually every week I talk about it, but I want you to go a little bit more in depth on what exactly is the Warrior House that we're talking about here.
So it's a 6-bedroom house that we started renting last summer, and we furnished it with all new furniture, TVs, everything it needs to be at home for 9 veterans. And we use that house as a transitional house for veterans that are struggling with homelessness, or they just fell on bad times, bad luck, and they need a place to stay. And, it's usually a temporary situation between a month and 5 months, depending on what their situation is and what their goals are.
Do you have a page on your website so people can look at the Warrior House and everything?
Yeah, I mean the whole front page is about the Warrior House. So
is it? Okay.
Yeah, housesforwarriors.org.
I want to show it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, keep talking about it. I'm gonna share it a little bit so people can kind of see. So if you guys are listening on the radio, you'll have to go to Warriors Next Adventure Veterans Action Report YouTube and Facebook, House for Warriors Facebook, and KGRA Facebook and YouTube if you want to see this. But go ahead and keep talking about what you're doing here.
Yeah, so they get basically everything they need, all their basic needs met in a loving and caring environment, in a space that, will just kind of give them that space to do their applications for their benefits, for their assistance. They get all their food, they get clothing vouchers for the thrift store. Like I said, like you mentioned, they get assigned a personal mentor that they get that they call twice a week. We also have our house manager that is also a graduate of the program. We also have an amazing volunteer coordinator that comes in and does all their grocery shopping. They put together a list of whatever they want and need, and we go out and get it for them, within our abilities, of course. And then I don't know, it's just a safe and caring place for them to, get in control of their lives again. A lot of the times things spiral out of control and we lose a lot of just all the basics, having a safe place to go every night, ensuring that you have a meal every day. Those are basics that a lot of people take for granted. And when you get into a situation that you can't get out of, those things that we take for granted aren't so easy to come by anymore. And so, we're a big change of pace for a lot of these guys that move into the house. We had one guy who was living in a storage unit and sneaking in and out of the building every day. Another guy was just struggling to survive in the shelter, and going in and out of the shelters because, of his mental health stuff. He just couldn't stay in the shelter. So yeah, it's been amazing to watch these guys grow and watch them transform their lives. Another part of what we do is filling this major gap in our current system. There's tons of resources for these guys. There's rent assistance, there's financial assistance, there are the HUD Bash. It's an amazing housing voucher. They'll pay up to $3,000 on some of these places for a couple of years. And when these guys move out, though, they don't have anything to make that place feel like a home. They don't have furniture, they don't have mattresses, they don't have bedding, dishes.
And that's what you guys help with, right? Once they finally get into their own sustainable housing.
Exactly. We collect all of those donations. We got 2 storage units full. We got my whole basement actually full as well, of all the overflow. And that's one of our next steps actually, is just to get a bigger space to collect and store these donations for these veterans. Usually anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Sarah's asking if we work with the SSVF program. We help our veterans apply for that SSVF grant through the Volunteers of America and other organizations that utilize that grant. So what she's talking about is the supportive services for veterans and families. And essentially what that does is we'll pay for a veteran's deposit to get into a new place. And then usually anywhere from 3 to 5 months of rent. Typically they just do 3 months. And it's a good starter for them to kind of get into the home.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So do you guys, I know you were talking about doing some sort of program. You were initially trying to get that middle school, which, God, man, that place would have been amazing. But you guys were trying to do some sort of education center along those lines, correct? Are you guys still looking at doing something along those lines?
So kind of, I've adjusted the plan at this point because that building was a little unrealistic for where we were.
Shoot high though, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how we got the fundraising to start the program in the home and start renting the home and kind of prove the concept. I'd say that we've proven the concept and, we've made some upgrades and updates to the website. And so we've just launched our building campaign. And essentially, if we can't find a space that we can renovate, we're going to find some land that we can build on. Hopefully in an opportunity zone that will allow us to build at a faster pace than what's normally allowed right here in Denver.
That's what we're doing too here in Minnesota. I found a place not too far away, about 36 acres. So I'm doing my best to try to get my fingers on that for the mental health retreat.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people are getting affected by these gas prices and food prices and all of the inflation that's going on from the decisions made in the last couple of years. So everybody's feeling the effects of that right now. So
donations have been difficult recently.
Donations have been harder to get, and it's been tougher to get businesses to host events for us and stuff like that. But we've adopted this new fundraising strategy, and we're slowly starting to book some more shows and trade shows and things like that to spread the word. We got a lot of our brochures printed and actual like materials printed about what our plans are. And I have the full support of Canines for Warriors. So
by the way, did you see that they just put up a new facility that Courageous did?
Yeah, so
it's amazing. The 4 from home guys.
That's awesome. The the CEO Rory over there is super amazing. He has been very generous in a sense that he's been helping us with all of our strategies. I went down there and did a talk for them in Phoenix. They're going to be opening their program in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice.
And so I got to just get I got a lot of their materials and a lot of their strategy on how they've been putting those buildings up. And so we're moving forward with that strategy, and we're selling the naming opportunities to the buildings that we're going to be erecting.
Nice.
And so we're looking for big major donors, significant investors that want to basically be a part of the HFW history and help us get to that point where we can have a campus and have a full-blown staff. And we're even talking about getting a grant from Canines directly. So yeah, it's exciting. Looks like we just lost Nick. So, all right, he just asked me to keep it going. It looks like he popped off for a second. He's got a funny little avatar. Yeah, it's been really exciting watching this grow. I know that Nick's been growing this radio show for a long time.
Trying, man.
Yeah, hey, welcome back.
Spilled the Rip It on my computer, so
that's a good reason to go off air.
I know, right? Man, Rip It's delicious, but it's not good on your computer. Man, I've been trying hard, and we got some amazing guests lined up here. And my goal is to get a pretty decent set list out in the next month or two. I have some amazing lineups, and of course, as anybody who you suggest to have on too, fucking send them my way. My goal is to continue to really get people on every aspect of the veteran community, not just entrepreneurs, but authors. That's why I had Annette Winneberger on, because she's an author of Behind Two Walls. Fantastic book. She's an amazing human being, and kind of starting to lead the way for female veteran authors. This girl CJ, I need to have her on as well. She's also an author. And so every time we have someone on that has either authored a book or something along those lines, I'm asking them if they want to send me a book ahead of time, so I actually have a copy in my hands. I like to try to read it, but we all know I can't read. So
I'll get the audio book when it comes out.
I know, right? Same here. And I'm actually reading a book. You ever read the book Do the Work?
No, I haven't read that one.
So I'm only 4 chapters in, but it's fantastic. Oh, Mars reminding me, it's The Holistic Psychologist, for those of you who don't know. But it's a fantastic book. And the good thing is I started my work journey on myself back in 2015, and I'm still, I'm going to continue to learn the rest of my life. And this book is essentially teaching me how I did a lot of the things that I did. I just didn't know like the terms of a lot of the stuff. So it's really interesting to go back and hear some of the reasons why certain things work. So, what do you do for some of the veterans that are in your program when it comes to like mental health? Like, how are you prepping them to essentially go off on their own? Because that's your plan, right? Is to get them off on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day we are looking at that and wondering how can we make it better. Because this that we're all volunteers. None of us are really getting paid yet. Um, none of us are certified therapists or mental health counselors, anything like that. We're all just volunteers that really love these guys and want to provide that space for them to heal and get better. But there is this part that like needs to be addressed, and that is the mental health side. um, I
Absolutely.
know we've incorporated the personal development program, which you actually participated in to be able to testify to,
Hmm.
where they take a 2.5 day basic awareness training that teaches them, awareness around programs that are holding them back, programs that are running um, when they're in resistance or resentment. Um, it's also a responsibility training, teaching them
Hmm.
that they're the source of everything going on. They're the source of what they can be responsible for, and so um, we connect them to the VA. Obviously, that's one of our biggest resources. Um, we're still looking for mental health partners and counselors and people that want to volunteer and be a part of our mission, support our veterans.
Have I
But
connected you guys with Hick Strong yet?
no.
So Hick Strong would actually be one that would be good for you because what they do is they're a nonprofit that if you go to their website and you click request therapy, you'll get a call within a few minutes and they'll connect you with a therapist that's in your area. So maybe that's something you guys could work out with them because they're fantastic. I've sent so many people to them.
Yeah, shoot me the info for sure.
Yeah.
um
I'm gonna blast them in the comments for anybody that needs to know.
yeah, yeah, one thing I'll talk about is just some of the common stuff that we have encountered with some of our veterans. We've only been open since August. We've only had about 9 veterans through the program, and we've had 3 so far that were all struggling with seizures. They had mental health issues that um, were worsened by recurring seizures, and they had seizure medicine that kind of just it was really hard to interact with them when
Yeah.
they were on their medicine. And so it's I'm seeing this theme. Obviously, with only 3, it's not big much of a case study, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I know
Something
that
though.
it's beyond this program, and in the work that I've done in the last few years before we even had the house open. This has been a common thing that I've noticed, that there's head injuries, there's people with injuries that cause seizures, there's people with PTSD that cause seizures, and these seizures are really hard to manage, and they're all they're able to do is medicate for it, and this medication just like makes them kind of lose their minds a little bit, and they don't know who
Yeah.
they are or where they are. We just had one guy who was just like completely out of it. He's only been with us for about a month, and we had to get him over to the hospital because he was having seizures and he wasn't telling anybody. And
Yeah. Don't
he
do
got
that,
to he
guys.
got to
Don't
the
do
point
that.
where he just didn't know where he was anymore. And so and it's not like we check on them every day. We have a team member that goes there every day. We have our house manager who's also a veteran, someone who's gone through the program, checking on these guys every day. And so it's really sad that this is common, this is happening, and it's part of the reason why these guys become homeless. It's part of the
Yeah.
reason why they get to this point where they don't have any income and they don't have money, but they still don't have disability. So yeah,
Well,
it's
that's why getting them connected to the VA is so important. That's one of the main things that we do with Warriors Next Adventure is, I realize when people reach out for mental health or for just to somebody to talk to, half the time they've never even applied at the VA.
yeah,
It's like, just go talk to your VSO, see what they can do for you. You know.
yeah. No, I know. That's kind of what made me start this program. It's because that's what I was doing for so many years. I was avoiding the VA, avoiding the applications, doing what I can to do it on my own, not asking for help, not able to receive help, not able to receive support. And then, finally realizing, oh, I actually qualify for 100% disability, and I can be like completely secure in my finances and not have to worry about homelessness, not have to worry about these things, and start a business. And the opportunity is there. It's just, it all comes down to choice. And the choices we make. I chose not to apply for my benefits. I chose not to follow through with what I said I was going to do. I chose to do this, or whatever it is. So yeah, it's been I've been going through a lot of personal development myself, and I thought I hit this plateau and this peak where I was like, oh well, I'm just doing all the work and I don't need much, and I don't need a lot of healing. I thought I was in this good place, and I actually go through the program myself, through the personal development partners that we have at Convergence, and it completely changed my life. It completely transformed me, and I decided to continue the work and continue through their program and keep taking their advanced courses. And every time I finish an advanced course, I'm a different person every time, and I always get to this point where I'm like, God, how much more is there to learn and grow with? And like, how much more could I possibly change?
The answer is endless.
And
We
yeah,
all
it
can
really is.
endlessly grow.
Exactly. It's an ever expanding awareness around me of like, who I am as a person, how I'm being, um, tell you, being in full control of your emotions, being in full control of your life, and taking responsibility for everything is, it's not an easy thing to do. And, you really do need support to be able to get there, to get to that place, to want to grow, want to get better, want to develop yourself. So yeah.
Hey, Sarah. Sarah's listening. She's asking what program you're going through, and you should tell her about the convergence seminars, because that would actually be something that would be really good for Sarah.
Yeah, well, it's really good for anybody listening, honestly. Like, no matter where you think you are in your life, you can always improve, you can always grow. Convergence approached me last year. Well, I should say they approached Houses for Warriors with a partnership opportunity, and they wanted to be our personal development partners for all of our warriors going through our program. And so in three ways we partnered with Convergence. One being that all of our veterans get a scholarship to this $1,000 class, and it's a 2.5 day class. That essentially, what I said earlier, it's an awareness and responsibility training that completely takes you out of yourself and gets you out of your way, and allows you to see things that you haven't really seen or noticed before that might be holding you back in achieving major goals or major dreams or accomplishing whatever you want in your life. The warriors that have been going through that are typically graduate between 1 and 5 weeks after the class, which is amazing. They also have a 9. So from there, you take there's Act 2, which is an accountability program for 90 days, where you're on a team of people. You're with a team of people that are all doing this personal development work, and you have a team of coaches that are coaching all the groups of people. And for 90 days, you're being held accountable and supported by a whole group of people. You do not have to be a veteran going through my program to do this. Convergence is a for-profit company, completely separate from our organization, other than the fact that they provide these scholarships for us. We have no real affiliation with them. The other two sides of our partnership, though, so they give our warrior scholarships to this class. They give my staff a significant discount on all of the advanced classes, as well as running a charity fundraiser for us a couple times a year.
Dude, tell them about your first fundraiser, because it was amazing.
Yeah, that's why I've been gone and out of the loops pretty much the whole year, because we had a lot of success on the 3rd of January. So for every team on these 90-day programs, we'll do a fundraiser for one of the nonprofits that has partnered with Convergence. 35 people, the 30 people on my team, it's a 26 people on my team, and then there was about 8 coaches and then 2 facilitators. So we had about 36 people total. And for 2 hours, we did a telethon, and where everybody called their networks of people and raised money to sponsor a veteran. And we raised $55,000 in 2 hours to support our program and to pay our bills. And so it looks like Nick went out, so I'll keep talking about it. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was at a point in our organization where we really needed it. We haven't had any major support up until then. And in 2 hours, we were able to raise that 55K. Within 3 weeks, all of that money was in the bank.
And so that essentially paid for your whole year for the Warriors.
Well, correct? Kind of. So in retrospect, yes, if all we had was rent for the year, they would have paid the whole year's rent. Sure. But we had other bills. We prepaid a lot of our, like, the electricity bill for the year. Mm-hmm. We paid all the rent for the first quarter. We got all the credit cards that we used to start the nonprofit, to open the home, and all the furniture bills, everything. We got all of those paid. So that basically we started the year essentially debt free. We had the first quarter paid, and we had all of this, money to pay our bills. So it was really nice. Good. Yeah. And, as the program grows, the bills grow. And then, our food costs have doubled. Yeah. Food costs have doubled. I prepaid the electricity for the year based on what our bills were in December and November, the previous months. Yeah. That actually only ended up paying for 8 months because the price of the energy went up too. And so, yeah, just we've been getting hit with the increase in all of that as well. And we're back into fundraising mode. We're still working on getting our monthly donors up and our monthly subscribers up so that we can, get more of our recurring donations going and focus on the growth of the program, getting staff, getting people paid, stuff like that. So nice. It's exciting. Yeah. We just got all of our accounting done for 2021 too, which took a while. There was a lot of in-kind stuff to report. And
yeah, I'm just getting done with mine from 2021 right now too.
Dude, it was actually, surprisingly, we've been growing every year since COVID. And
when did you guys start again?
We got our start in 2019.
Okay. You started the same time as us then. That works out.
Yeah.
We've been on a growth every single year too. It's really nice because the one thing that I've realized has been an issue is, I almost always have continued donors, which is great. But man, the economy is kicking our ass right now. And I did okay during COVID because I kept programs going because I didn't want to take a resource away from veterans. We got a lot of shit for it, but I didn't really care because there was veterans that needed to go out and utilize the programs that we were putting out there. And you guys kept going too, which was amazing. And that's why I love you, man. It's because you put
Nobody
the
told
veterans.
Me to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I had some people who told me to stop, but I politely told them no. But we didn't have people chasing after us, telling us, "Hey, you guys need to shut down."
Yeah, that never happened for us either. There was a few times where I thought we should quit, though. I really wanted to quit a couple of times because I wasn't getting the support I need. And honestly, when it came down to the real causes of that, it was because I wasn't secure in asking for money. I wasn't good at asking people for support. I still struggle with receiving support. Like I'm years into my development. I'm years into growing and healing, and I'm still struggling with asking for support. And so, that's something that's been a theme this year for me, is to really, ask for support and get the help we need and get the people involved. And, it's tricky. Speaking of, programs and staying alive and revenue, though, like one of the things that has been kind of killing us as far as like stopping our growth is all the donations I have to turn down every week. We have to turn down a lot of physical donations that essentially we could be using to generate revenue. So
What do you mean?
well, so like I am completely out of storage space and space for donations. And every week we get maybe a house full of donations that we're not able to get because we don't have a truck, or we don't have a person to get it, or we just don't have storage.
Have you thought about just doing a big garage sale and selling some of that stuff?
That's kind of where we're going with that. One of the big moves we're making is we're looking for retail space, and I'm looking at getting some loans, and we're gonna open a thrift store.
There you go.
And we're gonna have a donation center where people can drop this stuff off. We'll have a truck
Dude,
and some
you
help.
need to connect with Tom from Every Third Saturday. He does it here in Minnesota. He'd be a great resource for you to at least help you he could tell you how he did it all.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I got a pretty good plan, and we're moving forward with it. So
nice, man.
Yeah,
that's another reason why I like you, man, is you pull the trigger. There's not enough people out there just doing what needs to happen. There's a lot of talk and a lot of thoughts and a lot of manifesting, but not enough doing. And that's just get it done.
There are so many people that just talk and you do so good. Oh, I love the work you do. And a lot of people will support me verbally, but when it comes down to writing a check or it comes down to getting involved, it's a little different. The few that do, the people that do though are fucking warriors themselves too. Yeah. Like, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're stepping up. They're writing checks. They're paying bills. They're getting involved. I'm like, dude, that's what it takes. This is a community organization. Like the community owns this organization. Exactly. Nobody owns this nonprofit. Nobody owns a nonprofit. No one owns Warriors Next Adventure. It's all at the community, and it comes down to the veteran community because, unless they have direct connection, it's like they're really not getting involved. They'd rather go cure cancer, do all those other things, which are just as important. But
that's why we always get veterans involved, like Joshua Lee and Andy Baseman, who've been commenting. Those guys are, they've been killing it for me recently, and I need people to help me because I can only do so much. We can only go so far. I'm a good speaker and everything like that, but I also need, I'm a doer as well. But one person can only do so much. I need more people helping me, and then Josh and Andy and Trey and, Tommy, Will, Chad, all the people that work alongside me. I try not to ever put off the boss vibe. It's a we thing. That's the way it really is,
That's one thing I really learned this year for me is delegating, getting my team responsible for stuff. Putting responsibility on people and holding people accountable, even holding our veterans accountable, like so many people, so many programs, so many dollars out there are spent to give veterans a handout, and no one's being held accountable. No one's teaching them that responsibility. No one's teaching them that development. That works.
That's why we're based around education, man. We're not based around giving people things. Like, we do adventures and stuff, but I only expect one thing from veterans when they come out to any kind of event with us. You owe me some work on yourself. That's all I want. It's not going to help anybody if you don't teach them how to grow. Like Josh just said, growth is key. You can give somebody money, but they're going to lose that in the day if you don't teach them how to use it.
Right. Well, and exactly. That's part of our program too, is bringing in financial experts to teach classes and resume writers to teach them how to write the resume. And we have a goal setter. She's our chief of development, Connie. She sits with them and talks on Zoom for like 3 hours, gets their whole life story, figures out what their goals are, and just comes up with a plan of action for them. So nice. Then the mentors hold them accountable to that plan. And it's a system that we've created, a system that can actually work and change these guys' lives. I really hope you continue the advanced classes in Convergence, brother, because I graduated the Limitless training. I didn't even tell you about that yet. The 7-day retreat that we did.
We haven't even talked about that yet, man.
Completely life transforming. They're like life transformation or your money back. Like it was that, like, no joke, man. I came out of there a completely new person. Just can't I can't even begin to tell you all the things that have changed in my life since then. I've started a relationship, like choosing
Yeah, I saw
into
that.
my life.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. It's just things have been really amazing, and they get like as good as things have been, they've just been equally challenging too.
Mm.
And like I'm getting hit with bigger challenges, bigger walls to cross, and
Oh yeah.
the
You
rewards
you
are
don't you
so
don't get
much
bigger as
bigger.
an organization without getting bigger obstacles, you know.
You know?
But we knocked that shit down.
Yeah. Oh, and I just got invited to staff a kids retreat similar to the Limitless training,
Oh,
but
cool.
for foster teens between 13 and 18 years old
That's
who
awesome.
don't have families and don't have homes.
Nice.
And we're gonna take them whitewater rafting and horseback riding, and
Oh,
we're gonna
badass.
do the high ropes course and go rock climbing, and 7 days of transformation for these kids. And
Yeah.
of course, I was thinking about you and how awesome you would be at that. And this has always been like a little dream of mine to, take kids on adventures and stuff. And like, especially with what's going on too in Texas recently, like
Yeah.
with the shooting and that kid being 18 and completely lost. And it's
Imagine
like,
if he had better mentors.
yeah, just imagine if he had some people in his life that just gave a damn, who just
Yeah.
cared. And you don't get chosen for these unless you're like in the advanced classes for either convergence or something similar, that you can prove that you're also doing the work. Because
Mm.
so many times we have people that come in and just try to hide in this work, try to hide in the development, and it's easy for them to say it to everybody else and tell them what to do, but they're not doing it themselves, kind of thing. So
That's why
um
everybody who comes over to WNA, I make sure they hold themselves accountable. Like, I
right,
expect growth from you. That's it. Nothing
yeah.
else.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
that's exciting. I'll be doing that
That's
June
cool, man.
6th through the 12th, and
When
it's
is that?
the June 6th through the 12th up here in northern Colorado.
Oh,
So
dude, that's awesome. Nice.
that's
So
it's
I
gonna be
didn't
really
tell you
fun.
this yet. We actually were working on a deal with the Big Brothers, and is it Big Brothers and Sisters of America? I think that's the full name. But either way, there's a chapter here in Minnesota, and we're gonna do something along the lines of, I'm gonna be leading free hikes. It's not gonna be just for veterans, but there's a lot of veterans that are big brothers and big sisters. And so our goal is to get all of the veterans involved who are doing that and taking them on hikes. And so essentially what we'll be doing is we'll be teaching them like basics in hiking, right? So there's do's and don'ts you should do and shouldn't do when you're hiking, like not leaving trash and picking up trash, stuff like that. So we're going to actually give them opportunities to go out and do stuff similar to this. And when we do the retreat, I'm trying to make a partnership with the Boy Scouts so we can actually give them a place to go to, which would be sweet. So it's kind of similar, but I like the where are you taking them rafting?
We're doing that off of, what's that main river?
The Colorado River.
I don't even remember. No, I think it's the Arkansas River. I don't even know. I honestly, I got asked to do it. They gave me a few details. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take them horseback riding. We're gonna
Yeah.
take them whitewater rafting. We're gonna do the high ropes." And I'm like, "I'm in. I'm doing it.
What
Cool."
city are you going to?
We're going up north, somewhere west of Fort Collins. It's gonna be close enough to do stuff. Like, I guess we're doing it in Estes Park. Some of it's gonna be in Estes Park. Some of it's gonna
Nice.
be Boulder, stuff like
Estes
that.
Park is
So
actually where Mara just took her kids on a vacation.
it's awesome. Yeah, that's it's a beautiful spot. There's so many awesome things to do up there.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
gorgeous.
excited. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet, man. And I mean, not to mention you're going to be helping out kids, but I mean that's a vacation for you too. Like that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, it's 24 hours a day with the kids minus 2 hours during movie time. And that's when we have a staff meeting and personal time. But then the kids are right back on us, and
Oh yeah.
two coaches for every six kids. And
Oh, nice.
I'm actually thinking about leaving my service dog, leaving Rally. with a friend for that week so I can just kind of focus on it. That's one thing that's been really shifting for me
Yeah.
as I grow and go through the advanced courses and conversions. I'm less dependent on my service dog to get through the day. Like
You
I'm
should
okay
send her
leaving
here. I'll
her.
watch her for you.
I'm sleeping. Luckily, she's not hearing what I'm saying. She honestly, I'm slowly becoming more of a service human for her,
Yeah.
and not needing her as much, which is kind of the point and where you want to get to, so that you're just not dependent on the dog forever, and you can start to get your life back in order. And I feel like that's kind of happening.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah, it's been good.
Nice. Any adventures planned for House of Warriors anytime soon? You guys got we need to work on figuring out a hike or like a day hike or something like that that you can do for WNA for your guys too.
A lot of my
We
guys are like injured or having surgeries, or they're disabled, or or they're working full time, and we got them hooked
good.
up, and they're working jobs. Like it's really hard to get them all together for anything.
So we're actually working on a partnership with the Minnesota Wild if we can get that figured out. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but either way, we're working on that. And then if that works out, I'm going to actually talk to the marketing director and see if they know anybody at the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe that would be something that we could do, is try to get some tickets to the Colorado Avalanche game. See me, those guys like
cool.
hockey. Yeah. Dude, I loved the Avalanche. So a lot of people don't know Minnesota used to be the Minnesota Stars, or the North Stars, right? They ended up going to Dallas. So during that time frame, Minnesota didn't have a hockey team, and I grew up watching the Avalanche. I loved the Avalanche, and every time I played hockey games, like, they were always the team that I picked. I loved them. Foote was one of my favorites because he would just nail people left and right. Him and Blake, all they would do is hit people. And I grew up sucking at hockey, and all I did was hit people. So those are the people I was attracted to, right? Like the boogeyman for the Wild, he was like my favorite. But I personally have never seen an Avalanche game at the Avalanche Stadium, and so maybe next time I come out there, we should make sure we actually get that done. We'll take a bunch of dudes out there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I've never done that either. Actually, I've lived out here 7 years now, and I haven't done it yet. So
Josh said he was a Capitals fan and he hated Foote. Josh, I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
The only thing I knew about hockey was there was this guy named Wayne Gretzky who was a really good guy.
I heard about him.
I know. That's the only one I really know.
Played a game or two.
Yeah, I heard he was a winner.
I don't really watch much sports now. Like, I love going to games.
I don't follow any sports anymore. I'm so behind.
I used to be that guy that would play fantasy football, and I would sit on the couch from 12 p.m. to watch the Vikings game, and I would watch every single game the whole day and just look at my phone staring at stats. It's like, my dad used to make so much fun of me. I'm like, Dad, you just don't understand. And then just 2019 happened. I started the nonprofit. I'm like, I don't enjoy this anymore.
God, yeah, I don't even watch the UFC anymore. Like, that used to be the only sport I would watch was UFC, and even that got really hard to keep track of and follow. And like, I don't know, once you get a purpose and a mission, and you have something driving you every day, and I mean, like, even the disasters that are going on around the world don't really seem to stop you or phase you. It's like, no, I that's great. I'm that's really sad. That's great. Whatever it is. But like, you keep pressing on, the world doesn't stop spinning. So you got to keep moving, and every day is an opportunity. We all think we have so much time left in this world, and we really don't, man. Like, it's also, finite and fragile.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of it. And that's why, like, I had a couple people reach out to me about this school shooting in Texas, and I told them that they were so angry. They were so mad. And I get it. I totally understand, because it's totally unacceptable. I have children. It would break my fucking heart. However, what I keep telling them is, like, what is that anger feeding? Like, what are you feeding with that? All you have is anger right now. And why does it make you so angry? I don't like it. I think it was terrible, right? So if I were to actually sit and give my opinion, it was terrible. What had happened was, like we talked about earlier.
So were the 30 other ones that happened this year too that
I know that nobody talks about.
Or didn't make the news. That's the point. It's like there's so many things happening. Like,
that's why I stopped watching the news.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, I don't even watch videos on YouTube anymore. I used to watch Mark Dice because I think he's funny. I watched a couple other guys, and it just was making me angry. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Screw this. So I just stopped watching it completely.
You got to make your own news.
Yeah.
Be the positive
Yeah.
news in the world. Like create the new positive news stories in the world, and then they don't affect you as much.
Yeah. Josh is a nerd. He was on Veterans Action Report the last episode. He said, "What am I willing to do about this?" You know, my thing is, if you can't do anything about it that would actually help change the situation, like I'm angry on Facebook, does that really help anything? Just let it go. There's nothing you can really do. There are people at work going after, solutions to fix these things. That's not my mission. My mission is to help veterans with mental health. And one of those ways to do that is to get them to help control their reactions to things. Stop reacting and start acting.
Maybe
Choose
we
what you
help
do.
the veteran that solves the problem.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
we
never
help
know.
the guy that contributes to solving the problem.
There you go.
Everything has a ripple effect. So
I
where are we
actually
at on
have
time?
actually we got about about
Mhm.
7 minutes left.
Okay.
I actually have one veteran. His job, he is an armed veteran at a school in Florida. That's all he does. He stands at the front door. He says hi to the kids. I think it's amazing. It gives him purpose. He loves those kids. He's a good dude, and he's fulfilling his the protector need inside of his head. So I think it's amazing, you know. And so he's one of the guys actually doing something about it. I don't get involved in gun arguments. Yeah, I want nothing to do with it. So I won't argue anybody if they think, oh, there's more guns in school a good thing. I'm not going to get into that. However, it serves his purpose. And my goal is to help veterans find out what their purpose is. Like the shirt says, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing you know, I struggle with too is getting sucked into these echo chambers of ideas or thoughts, and everybody thinks they have a solution to such a complex problem
Yeah.
that and yeah, whenever it get stuff like this gets politicized and it's on the news, I'm just like, I get it. Like that's really tragic, and it's causing a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of people responding emotionally to this, and um, I would even argue that it's very counterproductive to even report these the way that they do
Yep.
because it just feels more.
And the news
And
is just a fuel of anger and rage. That's it. Separate,
yeah,
separate, separate.
there's not
Anger,
a whole
anger,
lot of
anger.
positive stories. You know how many times we
No.
call them and tell them like how awesome something is, or how here's this awesome program we offer. Or, here's a story about a veteran who's doing good in the world or something, and they just like brush right over it. So it is what it is. You got to stay positive. You got to create your own news. You got to create a positive channel in your own life of positivity and good action and good news. So I'm gonna just keep talking because it looks like Nick froze again. That's one thing I've noticed just in the last couple of days is how many people are emotionally connected to whatever the new story is. And one of the best ways to not let that affect you is, like Nick said, just turn off the news and start creating your own create your own stories. So anyway, I always I don't really like it when Nick gets shut off like this, because then I'm left hanging. I don't really know what to talk about. I bet Nick could probably do the show by himself and just like talk about random stuff. Let's see if we got a comment we can talk about, and that's not gun related or hockey or sports or really anything that Nick's into. Yeah, Joshua talks about, he says in the comments that his fight is with the things that he wants to change within himself, and anything else isn't his fight. And helping veterans is his fight, helping with mental health. And I'd even argue, a lot of people think that we can change, we think that human beings have the capacity to change, but I even argue that we don't, that humans don't change at all, that we can only really transform. One of the things that we talk about in Convergence a lot is to act. All of their programs are Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and so on, Act Now. And ACT is an acronym. Us in the military, we like our acronyms. So when we say ACT, it stands for awareness, choice, and transformation. Okay, you cannot have you cannot have a transformation without making new choices. You cannot make new choices without being aware of what those choices are doing, and how you're making those choices and why you're making those choices. And so through awareness of yourself, awareness of your programs, awareness of the whys, the reasons why you do things and do the things you do, and act the way we act, by being aware, then it comes down to the choices we make. I can choose to behave this way. I can choose to behave this way. I can choose to respond, or I can choose to react. I can choose in to committing to my word, or I can choose out and make up an excuse. We all say we want things, but if we really wanted them, we would be working towards those things. We would be taking the right action towards those things. And ultimately everything that we do in life, all the choices we make in life, come down to how we were raised, how we were influenced, what programs are running. And a lot of it comes down to like win-win, whether we're playing win-win in our life, or are we playing lose-win or win-lose. And so, hey, he's back. What's up, man? I was mumbling for 5 minutes.
You did good. I was listening. We had a really bad storm, and we had an issue with our internet, so it keeps going out. So sorry about that. 4G to the wind. No, you did good. Bro, I had somebody do that to me a couple weeks ago. He dropped out 30 minutes in. I did just speak for 30 minutes. It was terrible.
Yeah, well, Josh put in a good comment that just got me thinking of other stuff, and I was rolling with it. I probably could do a whole show by myself and just talk about development, talk about growth, talk about all the stuff that we've been learning.
Yeah.
And just leave it
easier to flow with somebody though.
Yeah, I'd be flowing with comments though. That's the only way I'd be able to keep fresh.
Yeah. Well, hey, we only got about a minute and a half left. Tell everybody where they can donate to Houses for Warriors.
Please donate to Houses for Warriors. housesforwarriors.org/donate, or just go to housesforwarriors.org and click the donate button. It only takes me about $3,000 to get a veteran off the street and into their own apartment. Excuse me. And as I said earlier, those apartments are fully furnished by the time they move in. We help them furnish everything. And we help them with all their benefits applications, all their food, their electricity, commercial internet, everything they need while they're in the house. And it's usually between 3 and 4 months that we get them on their feet. So $2,500, $3,000 is between its average cost of a transition. You can even if you can't do a full month or a full transition, you can do a full month for $600. $600 covers all their expenses for 1 month. And if that's still too much, you can do $150. $150 will cover a veteran for a whole week and give them everything they need. You can't even get a hotel for 2 nights for $150.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And so we're paying, we're really taking care of our guys. We love them. We care about them. They feel loved and cared about. And it's a life-changing program that you guys can actually directly involve yourselves in by financially supporting.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys. Go check out houseforwarriors.org and warriorsnextmetro.com. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you, KJRA, for having us on.
Thank